The drama begins in an alternative Korea where the monarchy never completely disappeared. The country lives fully in the 21st century, with huge companies, social media, luxury cars, and aggressive marketing strategies, but also with a palace, titles, nobles, and a social division that still carries a lot of weight. In that world appears Song Hui-ju, a brilliant chaebol heiress, ambitious and far too sure of herself to ask for permission. Hui-ju arrives at a royal event in a flashy convertible, dressed in an intense red suit that completely breaks the palace's unwritten rules. For anyone else, it would be a provocation. For her, however, it is calculated publicity. She knows the cameras will be there, that everyone will talk about her outfit, and that her public relations team will turn that scandal into sales. And, as expected, the plan works. The outfit goes viral, and her company's products start selling like crazy. But behind that spectacular entrance, there is a much deeper insecurity. Hui-ju is rich, intelligent, beautiful, and runs Castle Beauty with impressive coldness. But in the society of that universe, her birth still weighs more than her achievements. She is the illegitimate daughter of the president of Castle Group, and although she has more than enough money, in the eyes of the nobility, she is still a commoner. The palace is the place where that label feels the strongest. The nobles look down on her, the high society ladies mock her, and they never miss a chance to remind her that she was recognized late by her family. They treat her as if her presence at a royal banquet were disrespectful, but Hui-ju is not someone who stays quiet. When they attack her, she responds with a sharp smile and such dominant energy that anyone understands humiliating her will not be easy. Her own half-brother, Song Tae-ju, also does not miss the chance to bother her. He has what she lacks in the eyes of the system: legitimacy, a clean family name, and a noble wife, Han De-young. But talent, vision, and character are things he has much less of. Hui-ju knows this and makes it clear to him every chance she gets. To her, Tae-ju is the perfect example of how titles can support mediocre people while capable people are left out for not being born the right way. That anger is the engine that pushes her forward. Hui-ju does not want to be accepted out of affection. She wants to shield herself with power so no one can ever push her to the margins again. During the birthday celebration of the young King Lee-yoon, everyone waits for the appearance of Grand Prince Ian. Although the child is the official king, the true weight of the crown falls on his uncle, Ian, who acts as regent. When he finally appears, he does so by breaking the rules, dressed in hunting clothes instead of the expected ceremonial outfit. That entrance alone makes it clear that he also does not fit well into the palace mold. Ian is elegant, powerful, and dangerous, but he also carries a rebellious energy that makes traditionalists uncomfortable. The contrast between him and Hui-ju is immediate. Both live surrounded by privilege, but both feel the system squeezing them in different ways. Later, during the walk after the ceremony, Hui-ju accidentally runs into Ian in a restricted area. He recognizes her as a younger former student from the academy and confronts her with that coldness of his, which seems more like a barrier than a personality. He accuses her of entering where she should not and kicks her out without many explanations. But before the tension can move forward, an explosion shakes the palace. A building starts burning, and chaos takes over the event. The young king survives, but Queen Dowager Yun Airang immediately blames Ian, as if she had been waiting for an excuse to accuse him. She slaps him and points to him for supposed intrigues against the crown. It becomes clear that there has been a silent war between them for a long time. After that fire, it is revealed that Ian also carries old wounds. The Queen Dowager wants to force him to marry in order to remove him from the position of regent, because his presence overshadows the child king and threatens the control she wants to maintain. Ian appears untouchable, but his life has been marked by rejection from his own father. As a child, he was obedient, studious, and perfect, but because he was the second son, he never received the recognition he sought. On the contrary, his father took titles away from him and kept him limited so he would not become an obstacle to the heir. Behind the cold and magnetic man is someone who learned to live as another person's shadow, always useful, but never chosen. Hui-ju, meanwhile, faces her own family war. Her father, Song Hyun-guk, tries to arrange a convenient marriage for her, but with a man far below what she considers useful. Hui-ju does not oppose marriage out of romanticism, but out of strategy. If she is going to marry, she wants the union to give her real power, status, and protection. She has no intention of giving herself to a useless husband just so her father can remove her from the board and hand the empire over to Tae-ju. During a family argument, she makes it clear that she will not accept being treated like a disposable piece. If they want a war over Castle Group, she is willing to fight it. When looking for candidates, Hui-ju becomes frustrated. All the names her assistant Do Hai-jong presents to her seem insufficient. Directors of small companies, men without presence, alliances that would bring her nothing. She wants a man with money, talent, beauty, power, and a social position that is impossible to question. And then she sees it clearly. In the entire country, the only one who meets all of that is Grand Prince Ian. If she becomes his wife, no one will ever be able to call her a simple commoner again without consequences. So, with her direct and almost shameless style, she decides that Ian will be her future husband. The problem is that Ian rejects her again and again before even receiving her. Huiju sends meeting requests with different titles and arguments. First as herself, then as the daughter of the president of Castle Group, and later as an executive promising benefits for the country. All of them end up ignored. Furious, she remembers one detail. Ian called her his junior. So she changes the strategy and signs as his junior, asking him for advice as a mentor. That small sentimental trap works. Ian agrees to see her, and Huiju appears at the palace dressed impeccably, ready to negotiate as if she were closing the most important purchase of her life. During the meeting, Huiju goes straight to the point. She proposes marriage to him. Ian, far from being surprised, asks her for conditions. She lists her advantages without blinking. She has money, business vision, tolerance for public attacks, beauty, and enough ambition to endure the weight of being by his side. She even agrees to divorce him when the contract ends, without demanding anything else. But Ian rejects her because he says he values love above wealth and image. Huiju understands that he is provoking her, not necessarily rejecting her definitively. That is why she decides not to act like a shy candidate. If Ian is strange, she will be even stranger. From there begins a shameless and quite comedic pursuit. Huiju gets his schedule, appears while he is horseback riding, crosses paths with him at breakfast, follows him to animal shelters, and stands in front of him admitting without shame that she is acting in order to win him over. Ian becomes more and more confused. No one in the palace approaches him with such brutal honesty. Everyone pretends respect, devotion, or fear. Huiju, on the other hand, tells him to his face what she wants and how she plans to get it. That irritates him, but it also amuses him. While he tries to keep his distance, he discovers more about her. At the academy, Huiju was famous for her fierce temper and for not accepting defeat. There is a key memory from an archery tournament. She wanted to win at all costs because she felt the rules favored the nobles. Ian opened the practice field to everyone, allowing her to improve, but in the final competition, he let her win. For him, it was a calculated gesture against his father. For Huiju, it was a wound. She did not want a gifted victory. She wanted to prove that she could truly defeat him. That old offense still weighs on her because it summarizes her entire life. Even when she achieves something, someone powerful can turn her triumph into a concession. Ian also carries nightmares about the death of his older brother, the former king. He remembers a letter where the king renounced the throne in order to save himself, but the queen dowager preferred to burn it rather than lose the crown. Shortly after, a fire ended his life. Ian never got over that night, nor the guilt of not having saved his brother. Since then, he has suffered from insomnia and lives trapped between protecting the young king and facing Yun Airang's ambition. When the child king must attend an economic award ceremony and freezes in fear, Ian appears by surprise, takes his hand, and guides him. The country celebrates him, but that also confirms what the queen dowager fears. Ian shines too brightly. At that same event, Huiju receives an award as a businesswoman. When she goes up on stage, she takes the opportunity to flirt with Ian even in front of everyone, as if every public appearance were part of her campaign. Then she posts photos, uses hashtags, and turns any coincidence into viral content. Her best friend, Prime Minister Min Jong-woo, invites her to eat to celebrate. They have known each other since the academy, and it is obvious that he has felt something for her for years. Jong-woo looks at her with a tenderness she does not notice, trapped as she is in her goal of becoming a princess. He is the typical second male lead who has always been there, silently supporting her, but without daring to confess. Shortly after, Ian falls ill from exhaustion and insomnia and takes refuge in a hotel to prevent the palace and the Queen Dowager's spies from finding out. Huiju runs into his assistant Choi Hyen buying medicine and calls her personal doctor to help. There she discovers that Ian lives under enormous pressure and avoids showing vulnerability because any rumor can become a political weapon. The Queen Dowager appears unexpectedly, and the attempt to hide Huiju fails when she finds her purse. The next day, the press explodes with headlines about a supposed secret date between the Grand Prince and the heiress of Castle Group. Huiju, far from panicking, laughs. To her, a well-managed scandal is an opportunity. Ian summons her to his private residence to apologize for dragging her into a problem she did not choose. He asks her what she wants as compensation. Huiju places her old archery awards on the table and reveals that she knows he let her win. She explains that her life has been full of questioned victories and doors closed because of her origin. She needs the title of Grand Princess as armor, not as decoration. Ian, upon hearing her, understands that she is not seeking a romantic fantasy but real protection inside a cruel system. And then he accepts. If she is willing to endure the pressure of the entire country, she can prepare to become his wife. The fake relationship becomes a national campaign. Huiju uses her contacts, her company, and her public relations talent to sell the image of an irresistible romance. Ian plays along. He holds her hand in public, fixes her hair in front of palace employees, and treats her as if he were hopelessly in love. The Queen Dowager tries to block the union, but Ian firmly affirms his feelings. When they are made to share a room, neither wants to give up the sofa, and they end up in the same bed, fighting over the blanket like children while the maids, from outside, misinterpret the noise and fuel the rumor even more. The next morning, Huiju returns to the company without changing clothes so everyone will believe she spent the night with him. Searches explode, her sales rise, and the hate comments do not intimidate her either. Jongwoo visits her and asks if she truly wants to marry Ian. She lies, saying she loves him, and asks him to use his power as prime minister to approve the union. Jongwoo agrees to help, but inside, he breaks. Later, he goes to a church and admits that he is not praying for his friend's happiness, but against it. He has loved her for years, but Huiju has never seen him that way. The Queen Dowager does not stay still. She deletes posts, moves influences, and allows groups of young people to attack Huiju in public, calling her a seductress and an opportunist. Huiju faces them without fear, but when she later meets her father, the real wound opens. He reminds her of the legitimate wife's illness after discovering her existence and accuses her of bringing misfortune to the family. To him, Huiju is ambitious and greedy. To her, every achievement has been a desperate attempt to be recognized with the same rights as Taeju. When he denies her the inheritance again, she threatens to destroy her brother and fight until the end. After that argument, Ian calls her worried. Huiju tries to pretend that everything is fine, but hangs up before breaking down. That night, when she believes she is alone, someone knocks on the door, and she grabs a bat to defend herself. It is Ian, who arrives with warm bread and even buys products from the viral campaign that connects their names. That gesture makes her smile. She does not know if he is acting out of strategy or true care, but the effect is real. When he finds out that she was attacked, Ian decides to take her to his mansion to protect her. At the mansion, Huiju asks him why he agreed to marry her. Ian answers with dangerous honesty. She is beautiful, rich, and if someday he aspires to something higher than being regent, she would be the only one capable of understanding him. Huiju is surprised to hear him speak so clearly about ambition. The Queen Dowager, for her part, sends the royal guard to arrest her, accusing her of being involved in the fire at the king's birthday. Huiju tries to warn Ian, who is at a memorial, and thanks to a royal token he had given her for emergencies, she manages to get the news to him. Just as they are about to take her away, Ian appears and protects her in front of everyone. Even when the Queen Dowager admits that she ordered the arrest, he takes responsibility for everything Huiju may have done and challenges anyone to touch her. The scene ends up becoming another romantic story for the palace. The Grand Prince carrying Huiju in his arms as if she were a fainted heroine. In reality, he knows she was pretending, but he plays along. Later, both plan new public scenes to reinforce the romance. One night, Huiju drives to the palace wall to see him in secret. She brings him teas and vitamins for his insomnia, playing the good wife. Ian, moved and amused, takes her face and kisses her. When she freezes, he whispers that someone is taking photos. Huiju reacts immediately. She closes her eyes and asks for another take so the camera can capture her best angle. Her calculation is absurd, but precisely because of that, Ian cannot help feeling attracted to her. The scandal grows. The royal family publishes a statement admitting that they are seeing each other, but insists that there are no marriage plans. Huiju only gets upset because the photo of the kiss turned out badly. Then she proposes increasing the drama with new images, even entering and leaving hotels, but Ian starts losing control whenever she gets too close. During an outing to the baseball stadium, Huiju enthusiastically cheers for Jongwoo, who throws the first pitch, and Ian's jealousy appears without hiding. When the giant screen focuses on the couple and the crowd asks for a kiss, he tries to speed up the game, but this time Huiju blushes and prefers to keep it elegant. Later, Jongwoo invites them to eat, and Ian imposes himself as her companion. At the table, it is revealed how limited the prince's life has been. He cannot eat just anything because of fear of illness, scandals, or risks. Huiju sees it as torture. Jongwoo takes the opportunity to tell her that precisely because of that, she should not marry into the royal family. Ian responds by giving food to Huiju and telling her to enjoy it while she is not yet his wife. That silent rivalry between the two men begins to grow stronger. Huiju's preparation as a future princess also turns chaotic. The strict Lady Choi Jin-suk tries to teach her rules of posture, language, and royal funerals, but Huiju ends up giving her Pilates lessons and escaping from the lessons whenever she can. In those sessions, she discovers that Ian's family has lost too many people under tragic circumstances. His mother, his father, and his older brother. Little by little, she understands that his coldness is a mask for an enormous wound. When he faces new manipulations from the Queen Dowager, Huiju encourages him to stop living as the king's shadow and to recognize his own ambitions. For the first time, Ian feels supported by someone who does not ask him for obedience, but for decision. One day, the young king escapes from classes and visits the mansion. Huiju takes the opportunity to play with him and make him feel like a normal child. The little boy asks to get into the red convertible, and although the rules forbid it, she convinces Lady Choi by promising to take care of him. Jongwoo follows them, worried. On the road, the king asks for more speed, and Huiju accelerates a little, but soon discovers that the brakes are not responding. The car exceeds 100 kilometers per hour. Huiju maneuvers skillfully to avoid a tragedy and decides to crash into a barrier to stop. At that moment, Ian appears in another vehicle, crosses his car to block the path, and takes the impact that saves Huiju and the king. The accident shakes everyone. The king comes out unharmed, but Ian ends up injured and must undergo shoulder surgery. Huiju wakes up asking about him, terrified. When she finds out that the surgery went well, she runs to see him. She tries to joke that his pretty face is his greatest virtue, but her worry is obvious. Ian, weak but conscious, pulls her close with tenderness and strokes her hair. That gesture no longer seems like an act. Something begins to slip through between them, something neither of them knows how to handle. But the accident also hits Castle Beauty. The stocks fall, Huiju's family becomes unsettled, and Haijong advises her to end the engagement before the royal family destroys her. Without knowing it, Jongwoo hears that the marriage was only a contract. Later, when he talks with Huiju, he finally dares to propose himself as an alternative. He asks her to marry him. Huiju freezes, but rejects him with cold logic. Ian will still be a prince even after a divorce. Jongwoo, on the other hand, is prime minister for a limited period and must protect his image if he wants to continue. That answer hurts him, although she tries to justify it as a way to protect him. Ian hears part of that conversation and walks away. Shortly after, he kicks her out of his mansion and asks her to return the access card. Huiju understands that he is leaving her out. She looks for him at the palace and demands explanations. He avoids talking about jealousy and uses the accident as an excuse. The investigation proves that someone tampered with the brakes, so Ian decides to cancel the wedding to keep her away from danger. He calls her a person full of enemies and says he cannot make her his wife. In reality, he is terrified. When he was a child, he saw his mother die in an accident, and seeing Huiju in danger revived that trauma. To protect her, he decides to break the deal. As compensation, he invites her to an internal palace banquet, a social opportunity that any noble would kill to get. Huiju knows it is a gesture meant to clean up the royal family's image after discarding her, so she refuses with pride. But Ian insists. When they finally see each other, he confesses that he wants to prevent the world from treating her like a woman abandoned by the royals. Huiju calls him a coward and shows him her way of protecting. Not backing down, but attacking first. She bandages a wound on his hand with her garter and forbids him from giving up. At the banquet, Huiju appears in white, ignoring the traditional dresses that were offered to her. The Queen Dowager tries to humiliate her by leaving her behind under the sun, but Ian arrives, walks toward her, and offers her his arm in front of everyone, taking her to the front row. He whispers to her that now he will fight with all his strength, just like her. That night, during the dance, both play the role of a couple in love with chemistry that is impossible to fake. Ian reminds her that everyone is watching them and that she should only look at him. Huiju responds that this is still not enough. Then Ian delivers the final blow. When the music ends, he kneels and takes out his mother's ring, a jewel of national value. He asks her to marry him in front of the entire palace. Huiju is surprised and moved, but accepts. Fireworks light up the sky, and in front of everyone, Ian asks the young king for his blessing. Although the Queen Dowager tries to stop him with her gaze, the child king gives them his approval. The move leaves Yun Airang trapped. If she opposes now, It will seem as if she is defying the king himself. Jongwoo refuses to use his power to stop the wedding, even though the Queen Dowager demands it. Then he dances with Huiju and promises to be on her side as long as she does not lie to him again. Meanwhile, Ian dances with the Queen Dowager and pressures her by hinting that he knows something about the late king's will. That detail leaves her frozen. Later, it is revealed that the deceased king had considered passing the throne to Ian, but the fire destroyed the evidence. The Queen Dowager allows the marriage because she believes Huiju will become the perfect weakness to control the prince. Huiju, for her part, enjoys the media impact of the proposal, but also returns to work with the ring as a tool of power. Her father decides to place a spy inside the palace, not because he openly loves her, but because he cannot stand others humiliating her. Taeju and Han Dayong try to ask her to hand over the company when she becomes royal, but Huiju does not forget her own plans. She demands that they investigate the person responsible for the car sabotage. When they discover that the suspect turned up dead, she becomes furious. Someone erased the trail before she could reach the true culprit. The wedding preparations move forward as a national event. Jongwoo participates because the ceremony has a political dimension. Ian becomes jealous when he sees him too close to Huiju, and the prime minister reveals that he also knows about the fake marriage. That sparks another argument. Huiju reminds Ian that she trusts Jongwoo more because she has known him for years, while he already abandoned her once. To avoid new betrayals, she demands a detailed marriage contract. Ian accepts, annoyed. They define that the marriage will last a maximum of 3 years, that when they divorce, she will return properties and material benefits, but keep the royal title if she causes no scandals. Above all, they agree to absolute silence about what happens in the palace and between them. A family dinner with the Queen Dowager brings Ian's wounds back to the surface. She uses alcohol as an excuse to attack him, hinting that his father would never have approved the wedding and reminding him that his name means rules and peace, as if he had been born only to restrain himself. Ian barely manages to hold himself together emotionally. Huiju takes his hand, cuts the dinner short, and takes him out of there. Outside the suffocating environment, she tells him to endure, because after the wedding, she will erase anyone who gets in her way. Ian, tired of the palace, decides not to sleep there. The two escape by car. He drives fast because, as he confesses, driving is one of the few things that makes him feel free, almost like flying. Huiju decides to give him a better experience and takes him to her yacht. At first, Ian is still trapped in rules, distrusting even the fruit because it is not certified for the royal family. Huiju puts a grape in his mouth and demands that he relax for once. He gives in, but soon becomes dizzy from the movement of the sea. She teases him affectionately and uses a home remedy that scares him more than any political battle, pricking his finger so he feels better. The prince, so imposing before the country, trembles like a child in front of the needle. Afterward, Huiju takes him to the bow of the yacht so he can experience that feeling of freedom. She climbs up, opens her arms, and tells him to hold her. The scene seems taken from a romantic movie, but with a chaotic touch of the two of them. When switching places, Huiju trips and falls on top of Ian. He does not push her away. He hugs her tightly and reminds her that she told him he could do whatever he wanted. Then he kisses her. This time there are no paparazzi, no strategy, and no statement. Huiju does not pull away. On the contrary, she pulls him closer to keep kissing him, making it clear that the contract began as a political move, but something neither of them can control is already being born between them. That kiss also changes the way they look at each other afterward. Huiju tries to convince herself that she still has everything under control, that the marriage continues to be a useful alliance, and that every gesture can be explained as part of the plan. But it is no longer so easy for her to lie to herself. Ian, on his side, discovers that with her he can breathe in a way the palace never allowed him to. She does not treat him like a relic or like a threat, but like a tired man who deserves to decide for himself. And that makes him dangerous to everyone who wants to control him. That is why, although the world still sees a strategic wedding, what is forming between them is something much more uncomfortable, a real complicity. Huiju teaches him to attack head-on. Ian teaches her that not everything is won through calculation, and the two begin to become each other's weakness and strength at the same time. In the middle of a monarchy full of secrets, broken inheritances, and enemies watching from every corner, their relationship stops being just a contract and transforms into a gamble capable of shaking the entire palace. And no one knows who will come out unharmed in the end. To be continued.